whatever today is.
September 9th, 2020.
Thanks, 2020. Call the roll, please.
Commissioner Rachel Laus. Here. Commissioner Rocky Smith.
Commissioner Smith, you're muted.
Hello? Hello?
There you are.
We got you.
I'm here.
Okay. Commissioner Frank O'Donnell.
Here.
Commissioner Denise McGriff.
Present.
Mayor Dan Holliday.
Here. Mr. Conkle.
Thank you, Mayor. Evening, Commissioners. Tonight, we're requesting approval of resolution number 20-26, which declares a state of emergency until September 17th, 2020, due to wildfires in Clackamas County and throughout the state. Clackamas County is experiencing high winds and a dry air mass that have caused several extensive fires in the county. There are currently 6 active fires in the county that resulted in the mass evacuation of county residents and is a threat to life and property. A Red Cross facility has been opened at Clackamas Community College as a resource for citizens that have been ordered to evacuate their homes. The county declared a state of emergency on September 8th and is running out of resources for firefighting, and sheltering assistance is needed. Oregon City staff is recommending that the commission declare a state of emergency effective immediately so staff can work with federal, state, and local agencies in a coordinated effort to address the impacts of the multiple fires within the region and that are in close proximity to Oregon City. The declaration will expire on September 17th unless terminated earlier or extended by the commission.
Thank you, sir. Has everybody had a chance to read the resolution?
Yes.
I'll take that as a yes. Katie, can you
Yes.
put us all back on the screen, please? Thank you. So is there any discussion? So we want to make a motion.
I'd like to move that we adopt resolution 20-26.
Seconded.
Moved by Commissioner McGriff, second by Commissioner O'Donnell. Call the roll, please.
Commissioner Denise McGriff.
Aye.
Commissioner Rocky Smith.
Aye.
Commissioner Frank O'Donnell.
Aye.
Commissioner Rachel Laus Smith.
Aye.
Mayor Dan Holliday.
Aye. I have one more item I'd like to bring up. I talked to Mr. Conkle about this earlier, but I would like us to be all in concert that we're not going to enforce our code as far as people parking RVs on the street and being able to plug into like a neighbor or friend's house while the evacuations are going on. Does anybody have a problem with that?
No, I was asking the same thing.
Well, here's a question, sir.
Yes,
Mr.
go ahead.
Yes, Mayor Holliday. So I have no objection to it as long as those units, if they're on the street, do not cause a traffic hazard or site obstruction, because some of them are huge and you can't see around them. And I would not want to have an accident because of that.
Well, I think we can let code enforcement deal. You know, if somebody's doing something that they shouldn't be doing or is too close to a corner, we can ask them to move or do something else. But I'm just saying that I don't want to be regularly enforcing this right now. Well, I mean, I've got my son-in-law's parents are coming here right now with their 35-foot RV.
Yeah.
So I want to make sure that we're not hassling people that, you know, are legitimately, you know, refugees from this thing.
I'm just talking about site obstructions, which is a traffic issue.
Okay, Mr. Conkle, do you have direction there?
Yes.
Thank you, sir. Is there anything else?
Just if there are any questions right now, we're coordinating with Clackamas Emergency Operations Center as well as the Red Cross at Clackamas Community College. We've opened up Clackamas Park. We are coordinating the messaging for available resources through Clackamas County EOC. We will put out information about the declaration that we just adopted and other resources. Our website's been updated and that is live, so there will be some additional information going out on social media. So at this point, you know, we're going to see what we look like in the morning in terms of utilizing the RV park first, then the parking lot, and then the auxiliary parking lot across the street. If we do get into a situation where that is completely filled with RVs and cars, people are in their cars right now, we will potentially look at the end of the Oregon Trail parking lot as a resource. So, you know, we'll just see how this goes overnight.
All right. I
Mayor
do know,
Holliday, question?
Commissioner Griff, wait 1 second.
Sure.
Mr. Conkle, Ken Swapman from, I don't know, one of the churches called me this morning and said he was interested in utilizing his parking lot, and they have a big gym or something. So can we reach out to our faith communities and see what they're willing to do as well?
Yeah, Lisa has already reached out to majority of the churches in town. Most of them are already accepting folks for parking and camping on their properties. So we'll continue to reach out with them over the next day.
All right, Commissioner Griff?
I just wanted to make sure that if anybody's reached out to Danielson's, because when I was at Safeway at 3 o'clock, there were RVs in their movie theater lot.
So we've reached out to most of the businesses along Malala and Berry Hill, anywhere that you're seeing campers. We've reached out to the property managers, trying to coordinate, one, if they're comfortable with what's happening, and two, bringing them additional resources such as porta potties and whatnot for the properties. Some have taken us up on it. Some are thinking about it. I think a little bit of this is how long this is going to go on. It's pretty unclear right now from Clackamas County Emergency Services. They do not have an end date for when the evacuation will be lifted. So we're reaching out. Some of them have accepted resources, and some are thinking about it.
So one last question. There is no imminent danger to Oregon City getting to a level 3 anytime tonight or early tomorrow, right?
Right now, no. We've got a fire that jumped up in Carver. I think it's going to depend on what the winds do and which direction they're going at this point.
Right. But we're still miles away from Oregon City proper at this point.
Based on the last information that I saw, I think part of the problem is that the exact locations of fires that are spotting up right now is pretty delayed.
I completely understand. I'm just trying to,
we're not in
freaking out.
2 or 3 at this point.
Right. Okay. Anything else from anybody?
I have a question. So are we communicating to like the shopping centers and stuff about coordination with the police department if they have any concerns or something starts happening? Has there been any questions about that? I see Jim Band's on the phone, but is it just call 911 as normal? I would assume so, but I didn't know if anybody had asked any questions about that.
I'm not aware of any questions concerning life safety issues. Most of the businesses said they're willing to, help out as they can. So John Lewis and his group, who did a lot of that work on Malala with the traffic, had those contacts and they were reaching out to them. That, as far as I know, that has not come up as a concern. Although we do have OCPD increasing visits through like Clackamas Park, just because we're opening that up to quite a few people potentially.
Yeah.
Chief Band, do you have anything for us?
Well, so we talked about the businesses where if you look up on the county site and then sort of word of mouth, even if you go, we've all driven through these parking lots and talked to some of the people who are there. We're the county, and then we are really directing people to the community college, the high school, and the old high school, and then now obviously Clackamas Park. And there's other places outside of the city that we're directing them. And the idea is sort of directing them primarily to a couple places so we can control or at least know where most of the people are to direct most of our resources to those places. So that's been the majority of our effort, and will continue to be. There's quite a few people at those two, the high school and the college, and we're working very closely with all of them in terms of that sort of response. And I think what Tony said about it's going to be real interesting to see what sort of happens tomorrow. Does this continue to upswing, or does it level off? The other thing that we've been doing is working with the sheriff's office. That our officers have been out helping literally go door to door. They were doing it all night last night, and then helping evacuate people. But then they were also covering the sheriff's office territory out in the county, so their staff could do that for, I think they did that for a 4-hour period. They had 4 to 6, I think it was 4 of our officers out taking those 911 calls.
Good. Commissioner Smith, do you have anything else?
No, thanks.
And if I could just throw in there real quickly too, we are going to have a commission meeting next Wednesday. Just ran out of resources today. There's no ordinances that needed to be posted or land use issues on that. So potentially we're looking at getting the agenda out on Friday for the 16th. So apologize for the delay. Just couldn't happen today.
Stuff happens. Commissioner McGriff?
Yeah, I just wanted to ask Chief Band, I'm assuming normal protocols are the shopping centers or the areas, are they increasing their security to make sure people are safe? And, you know, I mean, I'm assuming everybody will be on their best behavior, but I guess I can't assume that.
Well, I think that, I don't know, it's hard to say because everything's in such flux. You know, initially Safeway had a load of people by Regal Cinemas, and, you know, we went back 90 minutes, 2 hours later, and there were only 2 trailers left. The Berry Hill has the most people there, and talking to some of the people there, I think that they were all just doing it for the night, and they all, or at least a portion of them, had other places to go. There were a lot of people funneling into the college between, I'd say, midday and when I was over there this afternoon. They've got about 120 trailers that are in that college parking lot. So everything is really in flux, and everybody's sort of trying to figure out how to respond to all this, including those property owners. I think the biggest thing is tomorrow we'll start dealing with whether or not people are becoming entrenched somewhere. I get the sense that some of these businesses are okay with people staying a night or 2 there, but they may or may not be okay with people staying 3 or 4 nights there. If that makes sense. I think the biggest thing is we keep talking about campers because that's what we see. But the concern is the people who don't have campers. And there's a lot of people who've been, we know that the River Shore, the Budget Inn in Gladstone, I'm assuming now, I can't remember the name of the Monarch. We know that those first 2 are sold out because we had looked at trying to buy some hotel rooms for some folks. There's some of what we've seen in the college is there's people of all backgrounds. So there's people who have a lot of resources and there's people with no resources, including people with medical problems. So their capacity at that is 100, and they've got 70 people. And I left there at about 4:30, and they were lined up out the door trying to get in. So they're in the process of trying to put together, they are putting together another Red Cross shelter at the high school. Because I think that's going to become the bigger problem, a lot like the landslide is people who don't have the same resources. And what do you do with those people?
And
Okay.
it's just to clarify too, you know, a lot of livestock coming in. My understanding is the state fairgrounds is out of space. There's a call for stalls.
There's still space in Canby.
So yeah, we're aware there are cows on Main Street in a corral. We're aware of it. We're just going to deal with it until we get through this.
All right. So I think between Tony and Chief Band and the emergency management team from Clackamas County, I don't really want us to get involved in the details of this at this point. Let's let the next 48 hours go by, and if we're still in a situation, we can have another meeting.
Sounds
With
good.
that, we're adjourned.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, everybody.
Thanks.
Talk to you.